On the outskirts of Grove, Oklahoma, is a small village unlike many others. Har-Ber Village rests on the shores of Grand Lake of the Cherokees and houses thousands of historical artifacts.
These items in this case are specifically related to bullet extraction and amputation. They would have used a probe like this to see if they could find a projectile in a wound, also to check for damaged bone, because if the bone was severely damaged or shattered, then there was no other choice but amputation. But if they did find a projectile, they would extract it with a bullet extractor or bullet forceps. They went in the wound closed, and they would open them enough to grasp the bullet and extract it. Then they would probe again for the damaged bone, and if they located damaged bone, they would anesthetize the patient immediately. They would cut through any soft tissue, muscle and skin with a soft tissue instrument, and then they would use a capital amputation saw to cut through the bone.
From Native American heritage to wartime history to local historic figures, there is something for everyone in this amazing museum.
My name is Amelia Chamberlain, and I've been the Executive Director at Har-Ber Village for 3.5 years now. As Executive Director, I wear a lot of hats. I have staff who do a lot of things as well, but it's a small museum. We have about 16 staff.
The village got its start in 1968 when Harvey and Bernice Jones added a church to the property they had purchased in 1944. The church was built with handmade bricks from before the Civil War, and after the church was built, vacationers boating on Grand Lake started coming ashore.
Harvey and Bernice Jones were from Springdale, Arkansas, and Harvey was the Jones Truck Lines magnate, if you will. He operated that for many years. It was I think it was probably the largest trucking industry in the nation at one point. And he and Bernice purchased land in Grove, hoping to have a summer home here. It was right around the time that the lake went in, which would be in the late 40s. And they built a home here, and I came here regularly. And at some point along the line, Bernice, who was very devout, wanted to have a church nearby, so she would have to travel all the way back into town. At that time, I guess roads weren't quite what they are today. They built a house, a log cabin. I guess they located one and brought it in for the minister. And then Bernice said, well, you know, the minister's children need a school, so they brought in a schoolhouse. Harvey attended lots of auctions, and he always kept his eye out for different structures, different log cabins. He would go and approach the owner, and his crew would go out and dismantle them, and they would bring them here and put them back together again. And so today we have probably 26, 27 different log cabins that came from the 4-state region. They did not ever start out with a museum in mind. It just sort of happened. Once they had the church and the school and the log cabin down there for the minister in place, people started coming ashore to visit the church. And I guess they just started thinking, well, gee, you know, we could have more things here. And so they started bringing in the buildings, as I mentioned, and actually constructing some buildings.
Harvey and Bernice would go to auctions to buy antiques. With over 100 buildings in Har-Ber Village, they were able to fill them up, and then some.
Harvey passed away in '89. They sold the Jones Truck Lines, and I believe it was valued at $81 million at the time that he sold. They sold that off, and you know, so Bernice was pretty well set. They both were very philanthropic throughout their lives, gave to churches and schools and, you know, you name it, and including Har-Ber Village. They'd set up a trust that would continue to see us, you know, function. And when Harvey died, it wasn't too long after they'd sold the truck lines that the company that bought it actually went bankrupt. Bernice ended up buying the truck line center, Jones Truck Line Center, back, and she changed or made it into the Jones Family Center and donated it back to the town, the community of Springdale. And there were all kinds of things there, ice skating rink, computer lab, all this stuff, and it was all to be free for the public. Har-Ber Village was also free to the public until about 2002 or so. We decided we needed to really start charging admission because you know, we had so much in a trust, but it wasn't going to continue forever, and we needed to start bringing in some revenue. And while Bernice wasn't too happy about that, she understood the need for it and agreed to it before she passed in 2003.
Har-Ber Village is not a place known to be haunted. In fact, the thought process behind investigating at Har-Ber Village was spirit attachment. A spirit can be attached to a person, place, or an object. And at Har-Ber Village, being a museum, they've got tons of historical items on display.
Okay, my name's John Martin. I've been here for about a year and a half, a little over. And my daughter comes out here quite often, and she says she feels certain spirits or feelings anyway in the dollhouse over and around that area. And she has been known to see spirits and talk to them.
We did have one instance that was kind of funny, and I'm not sure all the details about it, but we have some soapstone figurines. I guess they're Asian carved, and they're in our Asian exhibit now. But at one time they were in one building, and they did some reorganization of the exhibit and relocated a couple of the figurines to another building. Not unusual, they kind of try to mix it up a little bit. And every night we go through and make sure the padlocks are lined up a certain way and the doors are latched and that everything is secure. And they'd come in the morning and they'd find on this one building the door would be unlatched. It was still padlocked, but the door had come unlatched, so it was kind of like open. And that happened for a series of days and or even weeks, I'm not sure. And somehow or other, a visitor found out about it, or some conversation came up, and they said, "Well, you need to get those figurines back together again. They want to be together." And so they relocated moved them back so that they were together, and they never had any trouble again.
We had Carly Willis from the local CBS station join us for a Halloween story. She was able to experience a few things before she left at midnight. My name is David.
My name is Barry.
And I'm Carly.
Came here with respect. We don't want to scare you. We don't want to hurt you. We're not here to get rid of you. But if there's somebody here that can hear my voice, we'd like to speak with you.
We have plenty of tools in here that you're very familiar with. If you would, just come in here and start showing us what they're about.
Okay, we're in the dollhouse. I'm John.
Dawn.
Carmen.
Are there any children spirits in the building looking after their dolls? Turn that on. We've got a digital recorder and a K2 meter that you can go near the one that has a little green light, and you can touch it and it'll make the lights change colors. It'll show that you're here. If anyone's present, can you tell us your name? Can you tell us how old you are? parents with you if you're a child.
Alright, so we're entering the back door of the Lowry house.
See, it's even better when you get to look at this stuff up close and personal.
Yeah, because how many people get to do stuff like this?
Exactly.
Right.
That's one thing I definitely love about it is, you know, you have the paranormal out there. You know, it's awesome when we find those actual
The evidence.
evidence and stuff. But I think the most rewarding thing for us is being able to come see these historic places and go places and hear the stories of these things that no one else gets a chance to hear.
Well, and interact with it too.
Yeah, I mean, you touch stuff that somebody's touched like over 100 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, you're holding it in your hands or something. You know, it's
And the
absolutely
only
amazing.
and the only other ones to touch it is maybe like a curator or something.
Right.
It's like, wow.
What was that?
That
was not a gunshot. If that was a gunshot, it would have been like from in here,
it was louder than a gunshot.
and it carried more.
We just heard the sounds of footsteps in the cabin, but with somebody shooting a gun from across the lake, we are not sure of what we experienced.
Yeah.
That sounds.
What was that?
That
was not a gunshot. If that was a gunshot, it would have been like from in here,
it was louder than a gunshot.
and it carried more.
So we've got a digital recorder. That's a device that can record your voice if you're saying something to us. And Don has a K2 meter. It's a device that detects like electricity or magnetic field and stuff like that. And if you touch that, you can make them lights change colors. If anyone's with us, can you tell us your name? Your house is a lot smaller than the houses nowadays. Everybody has big giant houses. Of course, back in the old days, people didn't need a lot.
If you've watched the first season, you've seen us use this doll in episode 3 at the private residence. There's actually a section here that's full of dolls, and we're going to put her in the middle of it and see what happens if something wants to move it or try to put it away for us. If there's anybody here who can hear my voice, there's a doll in here that has been misplaced. She is in the middle, and we need to put her up. She's on the floor. Can you put her where she belongs?
We decided to use the PSB-7 in hopes to establishing a line of communication.
If there's someone here with us, will you please give us your name?
Amazingly, we get a direct response to Barry's question. After reviewing, we capture more than we thought.
Will you please give us your name? Are you freaking kidding me?
Does it say Tim?
Yeah.
Did it say Tim?
Tim. I heard Tim on it.
Was that your name? Tim?
And then just a second ago, there was like a little girl's name. That was weird.
That was definitely something not normal.
In that short time, a few things came from the spirit box that leaves us scratching our heads. Here is the playback with what we hear being said.
Are you freaking kidding me?
Does they say Tim?
Yeah.
They say Tim?
Tim. I heard Tim on it.
Was that your name? Tim?
And then just a second ago, there was like a little girl's name. That was weird.
That was definitely something not normal.
How old are you?
Do you like all of these dolls?
So that was the radio station.
Yeah.
What's right there in front of me?
Try really hard to answer these. Can you tell me if you're male or female? Would you like to play a game? How about a joke? Knock, knock.
It almost sounded like it said who's like fading off on the there.
I know.
Finish the joke.
We hear a childlike voice begin to respond, but it's unclear if it came from the PSB-7 or from around us.
Knock, knock. Alright, let's try this
You hear
again.
that?
I got a new one.
I could tell from which direction though.
I know, I just heard it back that way somewhere.
Oh, yeah, heard something. Yeah, heard something over there?
Yeah.
Is that you making all that noise? What would you like me to do?
With no further responses, we moved our focus to the war exhibit.
Howdy, soldiers. My name is David Glidden.
My name is Barry Tidwell.
And I'm Carly Willis.
We're here to talk to you about what you've experienced. Which uniform is yours? Brown?
What did you say?
Let's say brown.
I was, yeah. I'll take it.
Okay, we don't have a brown. Well, maybe we do. Over here. There's a brown. What's your name?
What did I say?
Is an S sound.
Alright, so we went to the Civil War / military museum section and wanted to get a response by using sounds of battle. from that era.
That was Carly talking, love. What happened?
Something tugged the back of my shirt.
Here, give me your phone. Keep going. Go ahead, check it out. Is there somebody here?
So while I was actually playing that information, there was a tug on the back of my shirt. Spooked me out, turned around, and couldn't find anything. Medic, we got wounded! Get over here! Medic! Wounded! Soldier, get over here and tend to this soldier's wounds until the medic gets here. I need you to wrap his leg up and seal that wound. Corporal, get over here. I need you to get out and flank the other side. Get some ammo. Haha. Vending machine.
Vending machines are down here, aren't they? The other end. We passed them coming up here.
Yeah. Is there an ice machine down there?
Vending machines are over there.
Well, yeah, vending machine.
Down there, there's nothing.
There's gotta be an ice machine down here.
It sounded like something fell. But was it actually all the way down here, though? That's the thing. Ooh! The soap statue, check it.
Yeah, I looked when I came over here. It's still there.
It's still there? What about these ones?
Oh, yeah, I haven't checked those. See if anything got...
Yeah, they're still there. Okay. Damn it.
Yeah, I don't see anything that's falling.
That's interesting.
Hey, Brown.
Wow, there is brown right now.
Aura. Hedrick. Jerry and Boyd.
Wow.
Should tell Jeremy about that one. And then there's that right there.
What? Oh, that one? The one that says Kaufman?
Yep.
Yeah. EVP session. This is John.
David.
Barry?
Carmen?
Not really a good spot, is it? Set it up there. You got the new recorder there?
Mm-hmm. Okay, send that in here. I'm going to set this one over on this side.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking too.
Ooh, that was me.
Inside the Native American display building, we played music and chants in order to elicit a response.
Okay. Let's do these in like burst sessions where play one file, and once it stops, we'll just be quiet for a few seconds, you know, or a minute or something like that, and see if anything picks up.
All right.
So go ahead and play the next one.
Is that somebody?
Yeah, that was mine. Okay.
You okay, Barry?
Sounds like birds to sing with this music for some
I
reason.
know, they're watching you.
Is that someone's thud?
I thought you bumped into something.
No.
You didn't bump into that beam behind you?
Let me show you where I'm standing.
Oh, okay then.
It sounded like it came from behind me.
Really?
Or
I
behind
heard
me.
it from your direction. That's why I thought you bumped into that because of the way it looks on here. I had originally thought Barry had bumped into something, but he was not close enough to cause the sound. But after listening to the audio from both cameras, it almost sounds like a drum being struck.
Is that someone's thud?
I thought you bumped into something.
No.
You didn't bump into that beam behind you?
Let me show you where I'm standing.
Oh, okay then.
It sounded like it came from behind me.
Alright, so what we're doing here is I'm actually pulling up on my phone Civil War battle sounds. Basically, we're going to try to, drum up some kind of response, activity, anything, because we're dealing with the Civil War section over here at Har-Ber Village. We usually do this as trigger sounds. You have trigger objects. This is going to kind of be like a trigger sound to see if we get anything. Here we go.
With no response or reaction, we once again turn to the PSB-7 in hopes to get a response. Can you knock on something twice?
Knock twice, like. I'm seeing like shadow movement in there in that blue light. It's right underneath those boots. While in the military exhibit, we had the spirit box going. I was seeing a shadow inside the display, and as I was commenting on the shadow, I felt something poke my shoulder. And I looked over and Barry just started moving towards me, and as he started moving over, I then felt something on my elbow, and I turned around and I thought it was Barry, you know, touching me or messing with me. But it wasn't. He had a camera in his hand, and we don't know, I don't even know what to make of it. And it's got to be from maybe here, because the blue light's facing that way. We're not... No, I just got touched twice.
What?
Yeah, the first time before you moved over here, I thought you poked me on the back of the shoulder. And then just now, I just felt something on my elbow.
Soldier, stand and deliver. Give me your name.
That's what my wife said.
Like I was seeing a shadow movement underneath these boots right here. You see these boots?
The tall ones?
Yeah, these tall ones right here. I was seeing like a shadow moving in there, and like a shadow figure.
What's your name?
And it can't be any of us. If that was you, thank you for showing me that you're here. Can you do something like that again? Can you touch me, pull on my shirt? I'll shut this off for you. I'm gonna leave that blue light on in there in case I see that again. We had a really good investigation tonight. There were some things that happened that we didn't expect that would happen. With a lot of antiques and collectibles here, it's hard to imagine that there might not be any kind of spiritual attachment to some of these objects, and we're hoping some of that shows up in the evidence.
Early in the night, we placed Barry in the jail cell. In the audio, you can hear a whisper that seems to say something like, "Get out of there," or "Get out of here."
But that's close enough. I'm gonna run into the other room over there.
Okay.
All right. You need me? I'm gonna run into the other room over there.
Okay.
All right.
Later on, we conducted a part of the investigation in the saloon. As we were about to leave, this whispering voice was captured.
I don't know what it is about that spot, man. It was just,
I almost want to run back by here with the KT later just to double check.
right?
We are unable to make out what is being said, and will leave it open to interpretation. Thousands of items have passed through the hands of generations and are now displayed at Har-Ber Village. And because of the care taken by the staff, the collection started by Harvey and Bernice Jones can now be enjoyed by everyone. Each item has a story to tell, but some have a haunting history.